But this is not journalism just because it appears in a newspaper. This is journalism because you are reporting what you've gone and seen, or gone and read, or gone and witnessed. But you've also interwoven into it your own compliment to the subject about why you're bringing this in. So you didn't write just about Maxton and Brown and his thinking. You wrote about Himmelfarb and her influence, the most unlikely philosophical influence on a left-leaning prime minister. Did that come from having read Brown too? Did you?
Yeah, Brown wrote a really interesting introduction to a little book about Adam Smith. I can't remember the name of it now, but he wrote. There was a book arguing, which I long thought since I read Adam Smith as a student, that Adam Smith has just been horrendously traduced by his supposed supporters. That Adam Smith was very far from being the kind of Hayekian neoliberal that he's been presented as. In fact, he would have despised those people. You know, Adam Smith. You read the Theory of the Moral Sentiments, you realise Adam Smith was very much more consistent with a kind of social democratic worldview than a neoliberal one. So Brown wrote an introduction to this book by a Scottish academic, basically saying, you know, hands off Adam Smith, that he's on our side, and that interested me. And then I looked at some of the other books that Brown had been reported to be reading, like Gertrude Himmelfarb's History of the Enlightenment. And you realise that what he attaches to in Gertrude Himmelfarb is, who people may not know, is a very extremely conservative, one of the kind of archetypally neoconservative, not in foreign policy but in social policy, American thinkers who you know, I mean, I suppose the closest you get to it in a British context with someone like Melanie Phillips, who argues, you know, the family has collapsed and we're wallowing in moral filth. I think one of her books has the word Gomorrah in the title, you know, that kind of... And you think, well, how...
Sort of the equivalent in her field of Milton Friedman.
Exactly.
What the neoconservative economists were saying about absolutely free market...
So you think, my God, what the hell is Gordon Brown talking about when he's saying that he likes Gertrude Himmelfarb? When you look at the book, it's not hard to see because what she argues, it's a very specific argument about the Enlightenment. She argues that the French Enlightenment was very much a rationalist enterprise and needs to be distinguished from the Scottish Enlightenment, which was much more a moral enterprise. If the French Enlightenment had reason at its core, the Scottish Enlightenment had justice at its core. This is her argument. I think it's something persuasive in that. Now, obviously, Brown's conception of justice is dramatically different from Gertrude Himmelfarb's conception of justice. You know, she would say that you should, in fact, she does say that you should fiscally punish single parents. Brown has very much resisted calls from the Conservatives to do that. So, but I think it's an interesting argument about what the Enlightenment means and what its purpose was. And I do think there is an important distinction, although there are obviously huge interconnections between the French and Scottish Enlightenments, that she traces the threads of connection between them and the distinctions between them really well. And one of the things I like about Gordon Brown, there's a lot of things I don't like about Gordon Brown, but one of the things I like about Gordon Brown is that he is very engaged in these intellectual debates. Since Lord Salisbury, he's probably the most intellectually engaged Prime Minister we've had, which is interesting.